Put your email address in the chat. I gotta press, got it. And so that I can email you. Oh, sorry. Next one. Oh no. So I can email you the recipes. Having a couple of technical difficulties. Please stand by.
That's okay.
Welcome. It is February. I don't even know what the date is. The 21st, President's Day. Welcome to Downsized Gourmet. I'm Susan Doyle, Oasis Senior Advisors. We do assisted living placements and memory care and anything senior. So if anybody has any questions about senior services, please let me know. I'm free. But anyway, we're here for Downsized Gourmet. And today I am going to make, I'm so excited, I made these last week. Stuffed peppers, a really healthy stuffed peppers with ground turkey and quinoa. We're going to make Italian wedding soup. And we're going to make a salad with roasted beets. Are you guys getting feedback?
Yes. Yeah, and I just messed up here.
1 second. Better? Good.
Can't I? I think I'm, oh, there.
Freeze half of the ground turkey is I'd wrap it in wax paper or parchment paper and then put it in a freezer bag, not just a regular Ziploc bag, but a freezer bag, because this way it'll prevent freezer burn. I don't know if you've ever taken anything out of the freezer and looked at it and went, this looks disgusting, gray meat, things like that. That's freezer burn. So we want to protect our meat. So you would put the leftovers that you don't use in the freezer by doing it that way. But with our, so we're going to use about, with this recipe, about a third of this ground turkey, so about a third of a pound of it, and we're going to mix it with quinoa. Now quinoa, if you remember, is like the super grain. It is super high in protein, really, really good for you, and that's what we're going to use. A lot of times when you make stuffed peppers, you use beef or a lot of breadcrumbs. We're not doing that here. My mom has this wonderful recipe for stuffed peppers that she uses breadcrumbs and garlic and anchovies and pinoles and all kinds of stuff like that. Really yummy, but lots of bread. This, we're going to make it a little healthier. All right. So this recipe, we're going to use 2 peppers, which is going to be 4 halves. I already cut these in half. You can use yellow, you can use red, you can use green, whatever you want, really. But we're going to stuff these with our filling, which is made of the turkey. So we're going to start off right away. I'm going to heat up my fry pan here and put a little bit of oil in this, because our recipe calls for some chopped onion. And it's really just not that much onion, like a quarter of an onion, but you're going to chop it pretty finely. This way it'll cook very quickly. And so this is going to heat up a little bit, and we're going to throw our, so this is probably about a quarter of a cup of onion. So it's a quarter of an onion. Right?
This is down, lower.
Put this in here. And it's going to take a little, probably should have heated up my fry pan while I was waiting, but that's okay. So we're going to let that saute a little bit. And you know, I'm still not used to my stove here.
When did you take
that? Just for a couple of minutes. I'm going to break into my turkey here. And this is just, it's lean ground turkey. I got this at Trader Joe's, but you can go to any grocery store. I mean, you see it everywhere, right? And I'm gonna use a third of this, and once this cooks a little bit, I'm also going to add a garlic clove, because we love garlic. We all know I'm Italian. It's, have to put garlic in everything, right? So this is gonna be crushed garlic. If you don't have a garlic press, you can just chop it up. Or if you want, you can buy the crushed garlic, you know, in the jar. I always get that when I want to cheat, if I don't want my hands to smell, I use the stuff out of the jar, which is fun. Okay. So our onion is doing very well now. We're gonna add the garlic right into the onion. You can, right? You really don't need that much, right? It looks like, oh my gosh, it's not that much garlic, but that's okay. That's okay. Can we mute, please? And then I'm gonna add my turkey.
Isn't it with little meatballs?
Yeah.
She's just throwing the chopped meat in a pan.
I mean, you can use chopped meat.
Brown.
This is
I'm
much
sorry.
healthier, right? You can use turkey, you can use chicken. I mean, I know, but I don't know, I try to stay away from beef. Even though I love it. This is much healthier. So how do we know that the turkey is cooked? Because it's no longer pink, right? So it doesn't take very long. I'm just gonna put this over here for a minute. And once this is cooked, the spices that we're gonna add to this, and listen, if you don't like the spices, you can leave it out. But this calls for some chili powder, cumin, and paprika. All right, not that much. It's it's
Italian.
chili powder.
What is she doing?
And I said, if you're afraid of chili powder, then cut back on it.
Yeah, it seems odd. Chili powder, cumin, and paprika.
Yes, and put your email in the chat, and then I will. I'll send you the recipe.
Can you hear it? Do you want it lower
I
if
can hear
you're
her. I can hear her.
interested?
I hope she has our mic off.
You what?
I hope our
Could
mic.
we ask the person that has their mic open to please mute so we can hear you better?
We can mute, please, and I mean, I'll go over everything in a little bit. So it's a teaspoon of chili powder, right? It's going to be a half a teaspoon of cumin. Half a teaspoon. Need more cumin. And then paprika, regular paprika. And this is going to be just a quarter teaspoon, just a little bit. Just a little bit. And if you don't want that much, then don't put it in. But I would put I'm a firm believer in adapting recipes, but try and put some of it in. If you're afraid of it, please don't be afraid of it. It really does give it a lot of flavor. All right, so that's cooking very nicely. So I'm gonna lower this, and then we're going to add it's a can, a 14-ounce can of chopped tomatoes. Okay, just regular, ordinary diced tomatoes, chopped tomatoes. Okay, I'm gonna throw that in there. Yum, yum, yum. And this way, if there's anything sticking to the bottom of that pan, the tomato juice will help, get it off your pan. And it also gets that flavor into your mixture. So with that, we're gonna throw a little bit, we're gonna cook this for a little bit, a couple of minutes. Just so that everything melts together. So now I can throw this away. And then we're gonna talk about our peppers. So as I said, it's just regular bell peppers. I already cut these in half, washed them. I took out the seeds and also some of that, the white rind, right? So this way we're gonna have a nice vessel to put our filling in. And so this is looking very, very nice. Okay. So then what we're gonna also add to this is we're gonna squeeze a lime into our mixture. Squeeze it. Now, I cooked some quinoa already. I always like to make extra. You know, when you buy quinoa, let me just show you the quinoa. You can get plain white quinoa. You've got, this one is mixed. I'm not proposing that you go to Trader Joe's, but I have one really close to me. But this one is, you know, different colors. And what's the difference? The difference is the flavor. But when you mix this all together, it really doesn't matter the kind that you use. So what do you do with leftover quinoa? If I'm only going to use about a quarter to a half a cup of this leftover quinoa, we can make it into a salad. And I did one of these recipes. It's actually in the Downsized Gourmet cookbook. It's quinoa and olives and goat cheese. You can add chicken to it, make a lovely salad, put a little balsamic on it. Or believe it or not, quinoa, you can eat it for breakfast. Plenty of people, it's a grain, it's a superfood, high in protein, as I said. So you can add it with yogurt, put some berries, you know, have it for breakfast if you want. So anyway, I'm gonna lower this. And as I said, we're gonna add some of the quinoa to our mixture here. I'm gonna use a little bit more because I've got plenty. All right. Now, if you wanted more meat in here, you can do that. If you want more quinoa, you do that. It really doesn't matter. This is a very easy recipe. I'm going to add a little bit more. I'm a big fan of quinoa. So, and plus, this is a little bit liquidy for me right now, and the quinoa is going to absorb the liquid. So, and that is that. So now what do we do? Now we take our mixture, or filling. And we're going to fill our peppers. Very simple. I'm going to actually. So I have my oven is preheated to 400 degrees right now. And once I fill all these, I'm going to cover my pan with foil, and we're going to cook them for a half an hour. And then after half an hour, we're going to add some grated cheddar cheese. It says, you know, cheddar cheese, Monterey Jack, really whatever you want. But the cheddar is going to give it a really nice kick, nice flavor. I like sharp cheddar. All right. And this is really super simple, super healthy. So as I said, we've got 4 halves here. They're quite filling. So then what do you do with the leftovers? If you have leftovers, which we did, believe it or not. This is delicious the next day. I actually chopped it up and put it over a salad. And if you have any leftover chicken you could add anything to it. If you also make homemade chili, this is a great starter because this is the same stuff that you put in chili, right? You have the peppers, you've got onions, maybe not the quinoa, but the quinoa, yeah. I mean, it's not going to hurt it, right? So a little bit of extra leftover filling, but that's okay. Now, all this stuff is cooked. So I think the reason why it's going to take a half an hour to cook is that our peppers need to cook. One of the ways to kind of speed it up I mean, you don't have to, but if you wanted to speed it up, you could actually parboil the peppers ahead of time. So stick it in some boiling water for a few minutes. This way it'll make them a little softer and then the cooking time will shorten. So I'm just gonna get a little piece of foil and I'm gonna pop these right in the oven so that we can move on to the wedding soup. Oh, wedding soup. Okay. Time 30 minutes. Sorry. Okay.